Hey guys, good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? So glad that you're joining me for my time I spend with God. I'm usually by myself, so this is really nice to have you here. So, hey, just grab some coffee. I actually, I actually don't drink coffee. A little known fact: I just every morning I have my Topo Chico going. This is what I drink because when I was in college, I decided I needed to drink a lot of coffee for a test and to stay up all night. Wasn't a coffee drinker, so I took just a bunch of that disgusting crystal stuff, instant crystals, a coffee, and got some hot water out of the sink in my dorm room. And I put like a spoonful of it in there, and it tasted just horrible. And I thought, oh, I'm gonna have to drink a few cups of this. I ought to just get it over with. So I put a bunch of coffee in and just chugged it down, and I was violently ill all night, missed my test. So I don't know, it just never tasted good to me again. You know how that is when you get sick on something. So here I am drinking Topo Chico as usual this morning. My glass is sweating. You can tell it's super warm outside, but I'm acclimated to Houston, so I'm kind of used to it. But yeah, I am on my porch, so welcome to my porch. This is where I have my time with God every day. And any place would work, doesn't matter. It's kind of seasonal. When it's really cold out in the winter, I'm always inside. But in the spring, the summer, fall, I like to be outside when I can. So I just am inviting you into the place I usually go, which is here on the porch. I like to be outside. It kind of keeps me away from some of the distractions inside. I've found that if I'm in a room with a bunch of stuff that needs to be done, it's hard to kind of turn my brain off and focus on God's Word when I'm thinking, oh, I could just do this one thing real quick. So this works for me, and that's what we'll be sharing during these times of daily overflow, or just like, hey, I just want to invite you in, let you know what works for me, and if there's anything that works for you, grab it, use it. If you have something to tell me, to share with me, an idea, something that's been working for you lately, I would love to hear it, because that's what it's all about, is us helping each other. So I'll just let you know what's going on right now. So in this season of life, this is what I happen to do. When I had preschoolers, for instance, through different times in my life, it hasn't looked like this. I like to get up in the morning and do this first thing, but it hasn't always been that I've been able to because of work or because of kids or whatever. Sometimes that hasn't worked. Right now, this happens to be it. So my encouragement to you is just find what works. Find something that's a general pattern that you can stick to. Hey, the whole key is being flexible. If it doesn't work one day, it doesn't work out. If the morning doesn't work out, I have something early that morning, I just push it to later in the day or in the evening. But it really helps me a lot to have, I'd say, like a huge portion of the battle of having a time daily and being in the habit of that is just finding a time and then making a practice of it. Like, I brush my teeth every morning. I don't have to wonder if I'm going to brush my teeth. I don't think about it. I just do it. It's kind of like that. It's just like, this is just what I do. And the next thing I do that's real practical is I try to get rid of stupid obstacles, stuff that slows me down. It's surprising how much stuff that covers. But like I said, I come outside. I try to have anything I'm going to use already right here where I need it. So my Bible, journal, the stuff I use, my pen, I have it all right here. All I have to do is show up with my Topo Chico, and I'm good. So I encourage you to, find a place, put the stuff you usually use right there, keep it there, and you're halfway done. So when I, come on the porch in the morning, the first thing I like to do is just kind of take a deep breath and get quiet for a minute, and just thank the Lord. So instead of just rushing right into, oh, I need to read this or do this, just taking time to pause and say, wow, God, okay, new day, and you made it. And you already know what's in it. You've given me everything I need for this day. And so I just turn it over to you, and I thank you. Thank you for this day. Thank you that I woke up another morning. Thank you for giving me another chance. The Bible says, His mercies are new every morning. So, and then we can always find something to thank Him for, can't we? Even during the tough times. So I just thank Him for, I thank Him for my husband. Thank Him for my family. I kind of go through them one by one usually. And just kind of anything else that comes up, I think of that I just need to, start with gratefulness. So I do that. I just kind of a practice of starting, just not reading, not writing, not anything else, not even just praying, just being grateful. And if stuff pops into my mind, which it does a lot of times, like, oh, I need to get this done, I need to do that, or I worry about something, I'm trying to just develop the habit of turning that worry into a prayer. So say if something pops into my mind, I think, oh no, I need to get this done today, or I'm kind of dreading dealing with this person today. I'm just, give it to God right in that moment and just say, okay, God, how I feel about this. So, I'm, just help me. Be my wisdom in this situation, Lord. Show me what to do. Help me to be like you. So that's how I start. And then after that, I read in my Bible, and I am usually going through a book of the Bible. That just helps me instead of kind of just jumping around. I'll be reading a book and just move through chapter by chapter. Sometimes the chapter's too much, and that's okay. I just, maybe I get 10, I get verses 1 through 10 done, or maybe it's just 1 through 5, but it's progressive working through. And so I would love for us this week, if you're already reading a book of the Bible, you already have a plan for the time you spend with God, that is awesome. Stick with it. But if you don't, I would love for you to start with me this week in the book of Philippians. I love the book of Philippians. It's so great. It's such a book of joy. There's so much joy. And knowing that Paul wrote it from a prison after he'd been beaten and persecuted, and now he's writing this joyful book. I have learned so much in there, and every time I read through something, even if I've read it before, there's so much more. I also love Philippians because it's 4 chapters. Hey, we can do 4 chapters, and you feel so accomplished. You did a book of the Bible. So I encourage you to start with Philippians Chapter 1 today. And what I like to do is I have a journal. I'm always have a current journal I'm using. This happens to be it for the moment, journal that I'm working through now. So I'm probably, 3/4 of the way through this one, filling it up. I write things down. Let me tell you why I do that. I write things down, and by that I mean instead of, typing them, I write it down because, first of all, make sure you take the time to write whatever God tells you down. I really encourage you to do that, and no matter what format you do it in, because when the God of the universe tells you something, wow, you want to take the time to write it down. I also write things down because I will forget them otherwise, and I can look back over old journals from last year or 5 years ago or last week and see stuff I would have forgotten that God showed me. And then I write things down with a pen on paper because, think about it. If somebody asks you right now to put your hands on a random, on some document from 10 years ago, could you do it? Technology changes, and sometimes things get lost, and sometimes things crash. And, yes, paper can burn, but I will be honest, I've yet to have to lose, have something be destroyed that was on paper, and lots of things I have lost or now are in kind of a really hard to retrieve format in technology. So anyway, it's really great to have something written down. So however you decide to do that, awesome. I'm just letting you know this is what I do. There's nothing right or wrong about it. I'm just sharing what I do and why I do it. And then I write down 2 simple things. I write what happened, and I'll just summarize for what I read that day in just a few sentences. This is the literal action that happened. This is what took place. And then I write what God showed me. And then I write the words, what God showed me. And then I just write down what He showed me. That's it. It's literally it. I encourage you to start today. Start this practice of spending time with Him. Just try it. Just open the book of Philippians or whatever book you're in. Read the portion you're going to read for the day. Write what happened, and then write what God showed me. So if you don't have something going already, a plan, I encourage you to try this, see if it fits for you. And this week, we're going to just do this every day. We'll talk about it together and see how it's going. I can't wait to hear your comments. I'm praying for you. I love you. Have a great day.